welcome to today's exploration of evolutionary astrology. And it's a profound approach that goes far beyond the personality descriptions of traditional astrology. Unlike conventional astrology that might tell you what you are, evolutionary astrology seeks to understand why you are here, why you're given this chart, and what your soul intends to learn and master in this lifetime. At its core, evolutionary astrology views your birth chart as a sacred map of your soul's journey, not just in this lifetime, but across many incarnations. We talk about the South Node and the North Node. The South Node in your chart reveals patterns, talents, and comfort zones from past lives. It's the familiar territory your soul has already mastered. The North Node points to your growth edges. It's your soul's growth direction, and often unfamiliar territory that requires courage to explore it, but it holds the key to your evolution in this lifetime. This approach was pioneered by Jeffrey Wolf Green, who brilliantly integrated psychological depth with spiritual understanding. So what makes this all really powerful is it doesn't just describe your traits, but reveals your deeper purpose and what your soul is striving to become. Today, we're going to examine your evolutionary journey of Lindsay and Autumn, two souls who've come together in a business partnership. We're going to look at your individual soul purposes and how these energies interact and support each other's growth. This isn't just about business compatibility. It's also about understanding the soul contract that has brought you both together and how you can consciously participate in each other's evolution. Does that resonate with you?
Yes, absolutely. So excited to dive in.
It's also important for me to state that the purpose of evolutionary astrology is not about prediction, but it is about possibilities and empowerment that help you to recognize and consciously participate in your soul's intention for this lifetime. Let's begin this sacred journey of understanding. I'll start with you, Lindsay. Start to ask you about your Saturn return. And let me explain what this significant transit means. The Saturn return is one of life's most significant astrological transitions. It's like a coming of age moment that occurs approximately every 29 years as Saturn completes a full orbit around the sun and returns to the exact position it occupied when you were born. This transit typically lasts about 2 to 3 years. It marks a profound period of maturation, reality checking, and restructuring in your life. Saturn represents our relationship to authority, responsibility, limitations, and life structures. Lindsay, your Saturn return is positioned in Leo, because that was your ascendant. You experienced your Saturn return around 1994, 1996, when you were approximately 28 to 30 years of age. What happened around that time?
I experienced my first loss. I was transitioning from high school to college. Lots of changes with that.
And what foundations were you building your life upon at that time?
Pretty structured. I went to school for political science. I have my master's in political science with the intention to be a lawyer. I am pretty structured in general, but definitely was very structured then. I've always been an athlete. I was heavy into athletics in school. I competed for my school at both high school and college.
How did that period reshape your understanding of your personal authority and creative gifts?
I think that time period started to really open me up to more awareness, even if I wasn't conscious of it, of the spiritual realm, because I experienced my first loss of a grandparent. I intuitively knew when challenging things came up to call on him from the other side to help with situations. So I would say that was probably the biggest fundamental shift, even though I wasn't completely aware of it at the time. Something clicked inside of me that was available to me.
Significant maturation and structural life changes. Your second Saturn return will occur around 2034, 2036, which is about 11 years from now. This will be the midlife reassessment of your achievements and purposes. Your third one will occur around 2063, 2065.
I'm smiling because there's spiritual significance in the number 34 for me and my husband on the other side.
Interesting. Your Saturn return autumn is positioned in Pisces. Interestingly, you're currently experiencing your Saturn return right now in 2025, as transiting Saturn is at 28 degrees Pisces. So it's very close to your natal Saturn at 18 degrees Pisces. So this is a profound moment of alignment for you. Your Saturn return represents one of life's most significant transitions. It's a coming of age. It's a moment that occurs approximately every 29 years as Saturn completes its orbit around the sun and returns to the position it held when you were born. This transit typically spans 2 to 3 years and brings a profound period of maturation, reality checking, and restructuring. Saturn governs our relationship to responsibilities, limitations, authority, and life structures. So, what is it asking you? It's asking you, are the foundations you've built authentic and sustainable? And what structures in your life need adjustment to support your true path?
Peter, I just recently had a baby, so I have a 3-month-old, and I feel that my Saturn return has really pushed me into not being a people pleaser anymore. And also, if people don't see me for who I am, they're just not a part of my life anymore. That was a huge adjustment for me to understand and to honor my own energy and have boundaries around that. But I think that I finally feel that I'm creating a new foundation of my own energy instead of the judgment or the stories of others. Like, I feel like before I was just on this rocky foundation balancing life, and now I feel sturdy, I feel confident, and I feel alive. And I think that my Saturn return, there was so many lessons, and I have chills saying that because I think I'm almost out of it. Fingers crossed. Lindsay and I, we've known each other, but this community that we started and just having someone that really sees me, it really helps me grow into the person that I'm meant to be. I know there's so much coming for me, but now I think that is the time that I'm ready to receive it because I'm on this strong foundation of my own energy.
Saturn returns, which often challenging, this transit will clear away what isn't working to make space for more authentic life structures. So your current Saturn return, 223, 225, your Saturn is currently transiting through Pisces. That came in May 2025 at 28 degrees. It's affecting your natal Saturn at 18 degrees. So this represents your first major adult maturation point and life restructuring. Your second one will be around 2052, 2054. Your third one will be around 2081 and 2083. This Saturn return will remain until 2026. Then it will fully activate your natal Saturn placement during this period. This is the time when the universe says, hey, you need to examine your spiritual foundations, your boundaries, your relationship with the intangible aspects of life. You've talked about the significant shifts and realizations and new responsibilities that have now emerged for you. Have you noticed yourself reconsidering boundaries, spiritual beliefs, or how you balance dreams with practical reality?
I think every day. I think every day I'm seeing what's out there, living life in the present moment and exploring it every single day.
Beautiful. Now, those are really important key moments. Those dates are important to put in your journal, see what's happening around those times in your life, because these transits can feel challenging, but it does reveal what we've been avoiding in terms of responsibility or what we've built on shaky foundations. It's a really important time to see what significant changes, challenges, and decisions arose for you during those years. Lindsay, your chart reveals a profound soul journey centered around themes of emotional security, Cancer Sun, material stability, which is your Taurus moon, And the balance between self and others, which is your Libra ascendant. Your North Node in Scorpio, that's your growth edges, which is in your second house, points to a lifetime dedicated to developing emotional depth, authentic intimacy, and transforming your relationship with resources and values. Does that resonate with you at all?
100%. Yes, 100%.
The placement of Pluto in your first house suggests that your evolutionary journey involves a complete transformation of identity and self-expression. And there's a powerful intensity in how you present yourself to the world. And your life path involves embracing rather than fearing this power. Your core soul journey involves developing self-reliance, emotional honesty, and a transformed relationship with personal resources and values. Your soul is learning to build inner security and developing an inner potency that doesn't depend on external validation or material possessions. Your South Node in Taurus in the 8th house, and this is where I'm more intuitive because it reveals past life patterns of comfort with merging resources with others, perhaps being overly dependent on shared assets or emotional support. There may have been tendencies to avoid emotional intensity by focusing on material security or physical comfort. So I see part of the journey is to move from comfort to capacity and from pathology to process. As I sense throughout your soul journey, there's been a pattern of possibly seeking security through what others may provide, whether it's emotional support, resources, or validation. And while this has given you comfort, your soul is calling you toward greater self-reliance and emotional authenticity. There seems to be a transformative process happening around how you define your own sense of worth and soul esteem as separate from others and their resources or their approval. Does this resonate with your experience?
Yeah, absolutely. And I talk a lot about my why. That's what I try to get to with my clients that are going through grief as well. I feel the huge shift. So I always called Roger, my husband, on the other side, and my best friend who passed 7 days exactly after he passed, my cheerleaders. And to your point, they were constantly propping me up. Roger always wanted me to be the face of everything, the lead person. Now, with them both on the other side, as much as I know they are obviously cheerleading and helping me, I've had to dig deep and I guess fight and do the things on my own, and really definitely made me stand up and rely on my own self, not only in my day-to-day structures and what I built for myself, but also in the way I learn and show up. It's really deepened so many explorations for me.
That's what I love. It's so precise in so many ways. Let me turn to Autumn. Looking at your chart again, what am I seeing there? You've got Scorpio Sun. Your chart reveals a powerful soul journey centered around themes of emotional depth, intellectual innovation, which is your Aquarius moon, and spiritual exploration, which is your Sagittarian ascendant. You have your North Node in Libra in the 10th house, which points to a lifetime in developing harmony, balance, and diplomatic leadership in your public role. The placement of Jupiter in your first house, which is about personality and how you present yourself, suggests an expansive approach to self-expression and personal development. Your life path involves embracing optimism and growth, but at the same time learning to temper these qualities with practicality and focus. Your North Node in Libra in the 10th house indicates that your soul's growth direction involves developing those balanced relationships and diplomatic leadership and creating harmony. And this placement suggests that your soul is learning to consider others' perspectives and create win-win situations rather than pursuing purely personal ambitions. Does that resonate with you at all?
Totally. Absolutely. I think that I'm more of I'll listen to anyone's point of view and merge everything together if it fits. I'm very open like that.
Your South Node in Aries, and again, this is where I'm going to be intuitive about it, because we're talking about past life patterns. What the chart shows in terms of interpretation is it reveals past life patterns focusing on personal needs and emotional impulses within private or family settings. There may have been tendencies towards independence or even isolation that now need to be balanced with collaboration and partnership. Does that resonate with you at all?
Yes, completely.
And while this has given you strength and self-reliance, your soul is now calling you towards greater balance and collaboration, particularly in your public or professional life. So there seems to be this evolutionary pull towards developing these diplomatic skills and creating harmony with diverse groups of people. Does this reflection align with your experience?
Yes, Peter. Yes, it does.
How comfortable are you with compromise and considering multiple perspectives when making decisions?
I think that in my day-to-day household, there is sometimes resistance there, but when I'm out and about and talking to people one-on-one, I'm definitely able to compromise. I think that it's a joy to get other people's point of views and perspectives outside of my house. Does that make sense? Because in my house, here to listen and be open, but I like the structure, the schedule with the newborn. I don't want to listen to anyone's point of view on how I should do it. I like to take what I know and go with it, but outside with community and things like that, I love to hear people's different perspectives. Sometimes I'll even switch the way I'm doing it to learn different ways and different roles in that area.
Okay, I'm going to now switch to Lindsay. Is this working for you guys? Because I know I'm switching between you both. Is this okay?
I feel like as you're going through each of our charts, we're starting to like feel and see the synergies that we're living every day too.
So, core soul journey, Lindsay. So, you've got Sun in Cancer in your 10th house. So your soul is learning to bring emotional sensitivity and nurturing qualities in your public role and career path. This placement suggests past lives where you may have subordinated your emotional needs to fulfill duties or responsibilities. What I'm gleaning from the chart is that in this current incarnation, your evolutionary task involves integrating your emotional nature with your professional ambitions. So it's learning to honor your emotional nature while pursuing your public or professional goals. There seems to be a delicate balance here that you may be working on to achieve being emotionally authentic while maintaining professional boundaries. And I sense that nurturing others is deeply important to you, but there may be challenges around nurturing yourself while fulfilling your career aspirations. How does this perspective align with your experience?
It aligns definitely balancing out having worked corporately for many years and leading a HR technology company the last 4 years while growing, expanding, and learning modalities that not only helped me heal, but I knew ultimately were going to help others heal. And merging those two worlds while they were happening simultaneously, and now shifting and bringing the two completely together as we've built this community, as we do coaching, as we build programs and what that looks like, and pulling through some of those structures from my more corporate background into and integrating those with the flow nature, I would say, of a spiritual business and like what my soul's learned, especially over the last 4 years.
Are there ways you feel called to bring more emotional authenticity into your work?
100%. I say this regularly. I sit with the tech company. I sit in a lot of containers of C-suite executives. And after Roger passed, they get the full version of me. I don't hold back. Like I talk about, perfect example of somebody asked me why I moved to Nashville. I don't tell them an untrue answer. I tell them the real answer, and that is that Roger divinely guided me here, and they can take it or leave it. I generally find 99.9% of the time it opens the door to have a conversation with somebody that they had been wanting to have with someone anyway. That reflects me as a safe space. But yeah, the two worlds have very much merged, and I show up as my authentic self regardless now.
What does success mean to you beyond external achievements?
Witnessing the healing of others. I think there's no greater sense of success and satisfaction for me than to witness the healing of others.
It's interesting in your chart, you have your moon and Chiron conjunct in Taurus in the eighth house, and the conjunction, the relationship of your moon and Chiron points to a profound soul wound related to emotional security and shared resources. Intuitively, it suggests to me, and please correct me otherwise, where past life experiences where your need for material and emotional stability was somehow violated or threatened in the context of intimate relationships or shared finances. I sense there may have been past experiences where your trust was broken or where you felt materially or emotionally vulnerable in partnerships. If that is the case, this wound has likely shaped how you approach intimacy and resource sharing in this lifetime. Does this reflection feel accurate to your experience?
Yes, yes.
So
This is so amazing. Like how accurate this is, how it layers. It's really fascinating, Peter.
I don't profess to be a past life regression therapist. I intuitively look for past life aspects in the chart. Holistically, it bleeds into me the sort of past life possibilities that may have existed. That's why I ask, if it doesn't resonate with you, it doesn't resonate with you. I haven't got actual historical facts of where you were at a certain time in your past life, but it's more about where the present is telling me something about those past wounds.
Yeah, it makes total sense. It's like what your soul is here to heal this incarnation.
If it's okay with you, if I can go through one then the other, is that okay with you, Autumn?
Of course.
All right. So we've talked about Saturn returns. We've talked about your core soul journey. We've also talked about Chiron and your moon. Lindsay, the conjunction of Chiron represents what Carl Jung would call a complex. It's an emotionally charged collection of memories and associations that influences your behavior in unconscious ways. So the healing comes through conscious integration of those wounded aspects, as distinct from compartmentalizing them.
That makes total sense.
How do issues of trust manifest in your close relationships, particularly around shared resources or financial matters? Only disclose what you feel called to disclose.
With the loss of a person can come a loss of all you had in the physical realm and all you envision for the future in the physical realm that can tie to finances, material things. There's a shift, at least for me, there was a big shift in having to like 100% rely on myself and show up and be the resourcer for myself completely versus a partnership. And that can bring up some fear and challenges. So I think that's what comes up for me when you talk about that.
What helps you feel emotionally secure when you're in vulnerable situations with others?
My thing is to really reassure myself that I'm divinely guided, supported, and protected. That is my go-to no matter what's happening. If it's stressful engagement with other people, whether it's something I'm going through myself, no matter what the situation, I take myself back to that.
Thank you. The other thing that I noticed in your chart, there's an intense evolutionary process happening around how you define yourself in relation to others. There seems to be a tension between merging with partners and maintaining your individual identity, I sense that power dynamics in relationships have been a significant theme in your soul's journey. The evolutionary purpose here involves finding balance, learning to be authentically yourself within partnerships without being consumed by them or consuming others. How does this description feel to you?
Very true. Very true. Like on the daily.
In psychology, it's called the shadow in relationship. It's the unconscious power dynamics that play out in our closest connections. So your evolutionary task involves bringing awareness to these patterns.
Yeah, and I think some of it for me is ancestral and witnessing patterns in past relationships in my lineage as well, and not wanting to mirror certain situations and having a tendency to beeline the other way quickly.
Do you tend to take control, surrender it?
Take control. Full transparency, take control.
What has been your journey in finding your authentic voice in partnerships?
It's been a bit of a push-pull, but I think I've learned how to sense when someone is testing what I would take as my limit in regards to the balance of control out of love versus out of their own desire for control. When I was going through my Saturn return, I would say towards the tail end, I had a relationship that the control balance was very off and was not out of loving intent. And I think now I have been able to interpret when that's out of a loving space and check myself a little more easily as a result of that.
This cluster of planets suggests that past lives where you may have been in positions of creative leadership or where self-expression was central to your social contribution. Saturn's presence indicates there are karmic lessons around authentic self-expression, especially within groups and communities. Your chart reveals a significant focus on creative self-expression within group settings or communities.
That would make sense. That certainly aligns with what we're doing.
There's both great potential and some restriction or hesitation in fully embodying your creative leadership. I sense in past lives, there may have been experiences where your creative expression or leadership was either celebrated or somehow limited or even punished. In this lifetime, you're now working through how to authentically express your gifts while navigating social structures and collective expectations. How does this resonate with your experience of yourself in groups or communities?
That makes sense.
How comfortable are you taking center stage or leading others through your creative vision?
Very. But when I was younger, I was really shy.
Do you ever feel tension between wanting recognition for your contributions and fearing the responsibility or visibility that comes with it?
Yes, I would say yes.
You also have Mars in Virgo in your 12th house, and that suggests a complex relationship with asserting your will and desires. This placement often indicates a past life or past lives where direct action or being fully self-expressed was somehow prohibited, dangerous, or resulted in negative consequences. There's a suggestion of a nuanced relationship here with taking direct action or expressing your will. There seems to be a tendency to work behind the scenes or to channel your energy into service or detailed work rather than direct confrontation. So I sense that asserting yourself clearly might sometimes feel challenging, as if there's an unconscious fear that something negative might happen if you're too direct about your desires or being fully self-expressed. Does this pattern feel familiar to you?
Yeah, absolutely.
The evolutionary growth is about the conscious integration of these energies. You also have Jupiter and Taurus in the 8th house, where you may have experienced expansion and growth through shared resources and intimacy, or spiritual exploration of the mysteries of life and death. This placement indicates a soul journey that includes learning the deeper spiritual meanings of this incarnation, of this material existence. There's an interesting dynamic in your chart around abundance and shared resources as well. I sense you have natural wisdom about the spiritual dimensions of material existence, understanding that physical resources can be vehicles for growth and transformation. So your journey seems to be to include learning how to share abundantly without fear of loss, and how to trust in the cycles of giving and receiving. How does this perspective align with your experience of resources and sharing in your life?
Very much. I know I've had other charts done where apparently I've got luck throughout my chart and related to financial resources as well. Even as a kid, I've always felt like a push-pull, like I'll get all the things and then I'll give all the things. It's like this back and forth dynamic that has existed since I was little.
What spiritual lessons have you learned through your experiences with shared finances or resources?
I guess I would tie it more to vulnerability and expansion and willingness to dig deep into more vulnerability.
You also have Neptune in Sagittarius. This suggests a soul journey that involves transcending limited beliefs and developing a more intuitive, spiritually informed way of thinking and communicating. It reveals a natural connection between your mind and your higher spiritual awareness. There seems to be an incredible intuitive quality to your thinking process and a desire to understand the greater meaning behind everyday experiences. My sense is you're in the process, as we all are, of learning and aligning to trust your intuitive insights, at the same time developing discernment about what information to believe. Does this description resonate with how you experience your thought processes?
100%. And I've got some funny examples of things that have happened to me as a result of not listening to that inner voice. Peter, I want to be totally respectful, but I also want to do a bit of a time check. We have an interview in 20 minutes.
Okay,
Yeah.
if you want to come back and do a separate chart reading, I can do that for you. Let's do your Synastry, shall we?
Yes.
The analysis I've come to is the relationship between you both. It reveals a powerful soul contract because it's centered around transformation, balance, and complementary strengths. And I think beyond business compatibility, there appears to be, and again, this is an intuitive sense, there appears to be a past life connection that has brought you together for mutual growth and evolution. And there are several key aspects that stand out for me. Lindsay's Pluto in Libra trine, which is favorable, autumn sun in Scorpio, creates a transformative flow between Lindsay's core identity and autumn's sense of purpose. Lindsay's presence naturally catalyzes autumn's authentic self-expression, particularly in group settings, while autumn's intensity resonates with Lindsay's desire for meaningful connection. Does that resonate?
Yes.
Autumn has Jupiter in Sagittarius, which is sextile to Lindsay's sun in Cancer. It creates a supportive flow where autumn's optimism and big picture thinking enhances Lindsay's professional confidence and public expression. So autumn naturally encourages Lindsay to expand her vision of what's possible, while Lindsay helps autumn's expansive ideas in emotional authenticity.
I love that. This is so spot on already.
And what's particularly significant is the conjunction between Lindsay's North Node in Scorpio and autumn's Venus in Scorpio, because this is a powerful evolutionary aspect which suggests that Lindsay's soul growth path is directly connected to autumn's values and approach to relationships. It's as if autumn naturally embodies qualities that Lindsay's soul is striving to develop, particularly around emotional honesty and a transformed approach to resources.
Wow.
There's also a productive tension, which is not negative, a productive tension between Autumn's North Node in Libra and Lindsay's Saturn in Leo. And this square means a tension, it means a conversation. But this square aspect creates an evolutionary tension between Autumn's path toward diplomatic leadership and Lindsay's structured approach to creativity and group dynamics. While this is challenging, this aspect creates valuable growth for both of you when consciously worked with, because the trine between Lindsay's Moon Chiron conjunction, which we talked about, and Autumn's Neptune-Uranus conjunction creates a healing flow between Lindsay's emotional wounds around security and Autumn's visionary approach to resources and values. Resonate at all?
Yes. Yeah.
So Autumn's unique perspective can help soothe Lindsay's deeper wounds around trust, while Lindsay's emotional depth helps ground Autumn's visionary ideas. Your partnership creates a beautiful elemental balance because, Lindsay, you bring significant earth, Taurus, and water, Cancer, energy, while Autumn emphasizes fire, Sagittarius, and air, Aquarius. This creates a wonderful partnership where Lindsay provides emotional depth and practical grounding, and Autumn contributes vision, inspiration, and intellectual clarity. Your partnership embodies powerful archetypal energies. Lindsay carries the archetype of the nurturer who creates emotional safety and the diplomat who seeks balance, while Autumn, you embody the transformer who facilitates deep change and the seeker who explores new frontiers. Combined together, these create a dynamic interplay that serves both your individual growth and your business mission. So your business partnership also creates valuable opportunities for shadow integration. Lindsay's chart suggests shadow work around identity and self-assertion. Autumn's chart indicates unconscious patterns around love, power, and action that seek integration. The mirror of your relationship helps bring these patterns into consciousness for healing. Beyond the practical elements of your business, there's a profound evolutionary purpose to your partnership. For Lindsay, this relationship supports the evolution from dependency to self-reliance, from comfortable stability to transformative depth. For Autumn, it facilitates the evolution from independence to collaboration, from personal perspective to diplomatic consideration of others. Together, you're creating not just a business, but a transformative vessel for evolution, one that serves both your individual growth and your capacity to contribute meaningfully to the world. When you consciously engage with both the harmonious flows and the creative tensions in your relationship, you align with the highest evolutionary potential of this soul contract. This is about the individuation process, becoming more fully who you are, where you're meant to be by integrating all aspects of your psyche. So your business partnership appears to support this process for both of you, with each one of you helping the other develop qualities that support your unique path. Lindsay, your journey toward deeper emotional honesty and self-reliance is supported by Autumn's natural depth and expansive perspective. Autumn, your path towards balanced leadership and diplomatic skill is enhanced by Lindsay's intuitive understanding of others' needs and a natural sense of harmony. There's a beautiful reciprocity where each of you naturally embodies qualities that the other is seeking to develop. So your partnership creates a container for shadow work, bringing unconscious patterns into awareness for healing and wholeness. The shadow represents those aspects of ourselves we're disconnected from or disowned, or we often project them onto others. But your relationship, especially your business relationship, provides a mirror that helps you and others recognize and reclaim these aspects of yourselves and themselves. So the tensions that can arise between you can be viewed as opportunities. If you become aware of these patterns and integrate them consciously, you bring in what's called the transcendent function. This is the psyche's ability to unite opposing energies into a new and higher synthesis. So your business partnership embodies this principle through the integration of seemingly opposite qualities: emotional depth with intellectual clarity, practical stability with visionary expansion, nurturing security with transformative change. You put all those ingredients in the soup and you create approaches that transcend what either of you might develop individually. The archetypal dimensions of your partnership are significant because these archetypes organize human experience across cultures and time. You have the nurturer in Lindsay, the mother archetype, the Cancer sun, and the diplomat, the peacemaker, which is your Libra ascendant. Autumn, you carry that energy of the transformer, the alchemist, the Scorpio sun, the seeker, the explorer, the Sagittarius ascendant. And these archetypal energies are very powerful and they create this dynamic partnership. So the evolutionary purpose of your partnership extends beyond material success to soul growth and development. Your business serves as a vehicle for mutual transformation and the expression of your highest potential. When you view these challenges as opportunities for growth and celebrating your successes as affirmations of your shared path, you align with this deeper and higher purpose. As you continue to develop your business together, I encourage you to recognize and honor the profound soul work and the container you are bringing to your community for shadow work alongside practical achievements. Your partnership carries the potential not only for material success, but for deep transformation and authentic expression that represents the highest purpose of the human journey. As we bring together the insights from, I know we haven't done both your individual charts, but from your Synastry analysis, a beautiful picture emerges of a business partnership with profound evolutionary purposes. You're creating this container for mutual growth, healing, and transformation. And your business serves as a vessel for each one of you to develop these essential qualities to your soul's evolution. I could say more, but I'm aware of time.
That's so amazing and so accurate. I think Autumn and I refer to it as hell yes energy, but literally we use Voxer to communicate about the community all the time. And it's just so much excitement around that we feel the healing that we're receiving and the healing that the community is able to give as a result. Everything you just said hits so spot on. It's so powerful. And it's great to understand why and dig into the details that you were able to provide today, the why.
Yeah, I'm excited that you are creating or cultivating a container for shadow work and a mirroring for your community, even if that's not known to you in language and it's not known to them. Essentially, right, you're engaging with a much, much deeper dimension, and it's something that's sacred. It doesn't only serve your clients, it serves your highest evolution as well as theirs.
Called the soul revival for a reason, right?
If you'd like to come back and if you want an individual reading, I can go through it, especially Autumn. I haven't really gone in depth. And Lindsay, I've just skimmed the surface really of your reading, but if you want to make some time for that, I'm more than happy to do that for you. How have you experienced the conversation today?
Amazing.
I absolutely loved it. I absolutely loved every little bit of it. It's so interesting how it's a literal blueprint of our lives and how everything was so resonant. And you can tell it's truth because it's anchoring into the heart chakra. It's not just like going this way, it's anchoring in and it has my attention, and I loved every little bit of it.
And we've said that throughout the journey. There's so much more energy, so much more amazing light me up energy with it being in concert with each other versus doing it on our own.
This is exciting for both of you. When you consciously integrate these opportunities and tensions, you will become a beacon of transmission where others will have a resonance with, because there'll be a compatibility of alignment and a recognition of something that may be missing. By creating this sacred container, that will become a beacon. And pull in those people who, if I go 1, 2, 4, 5, you'll go, hey, you missed 3. Yeah, that's the missing thing. They're missing that one thing, but they'll recognize that in you.
Love that.
Peter, it was such a pleasure spending time with you and just hearing your knowledge. It was really an honor. So thank you so much for creating space for us to learn more and dive deeper into this creation that we're creating. I do just have to validate you on one thing. We were in a previous community together. That's where Lindsay and I met. And I would do group readings on individuals. And before every meeting, I would consciously look for Lindsay's icon, because naturally she did ground me, even if she didn't know this at the time. But before every meeting, I would look for her on the screen, and we came together.
That's the sacred soul contract you both have to bring to the world. The contribution, that sacred container, is something that is going to be prosperous for you. Beyond that, this is Pluto in Aquarius. This is Pluto transformation. Aquarius is about society. It's about the humanitarian aspect. And people are going to gravitate towards your community or your common unity. Whenever you have a strong community, you get a strong sense of immunity, because people feel connected and they've got each other's back.
Especially in grief.
The offer is there. If you want to come back individually, I'm more than happy to do a reading with you.
Thank you so much, Peter. How is your schedule right now? With how far out are you launching episodes?
When will this go live? By this weekend.
Awesome.
One of the things, just very quickly, is I'm not going to show the charts. I'll take those out. It's got your information on there.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Peter.
Thank you.
Take care.
You too. Bye.
Bye.